I'm so excited.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Least Favorite. I'm your girl, Natalie.
Co-host Tony, what's up?
And today we have Jar with us. Jar!
Clap it up.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, so
I'm
last
excited
minute.
for Jar to be here because it is our last episode of the summer. We are taking a little break. We'll be back probably September, right? Yeah. I think this summer we're going to just...
Maybe earlier if we get the itch.
If we get the itch. Maybe like end of August probably.
Yeah,
but basically I feel like the reason why I want to take the break is because I want to just like focus on shit for the summer, like creating other type of content and just experiencing life.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all got a lot going on now. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but we're all trying to find ourselves in a new phase of life at
We
the
have a
moment.
lot going on. No, but the pop-ups alone, bro. It's,
Right.
You know, the
Yeah.
pop-ups it's a lot.
Yeah, we're
It's
trying
a
to do
lot.
the pop-up. So if you're watching this, the next pop-up is July 23rd. So come through.
Yes, sir.
Same place, 910 Hunts Point Avenue from 1 to 7. And we're going to be doing another one in August and maybe the last one in September. So we have a lot to like work on and focus on. Jar, how are you? Are you
I'm
good?
chilling, yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Are you... All right, so summer is coming. Is there anything you're trying to like
Summer's here.
do? Well, summer's here, yeah,
Summer
basically.
has arrived.
Is there anything you're trying to do or accomplish this summer?
Nah, same shit.
Same shit?
Make some money and relax.
Okay. Yeah, I
Heard
get that
you.
vibe from you.
Heard you.
You have gifts for us. Do you
Absolutely.
want to give us the gifts first or do you
Of
want to do?
course.
I'm nervous.
I'm scared.
I bought mouthpieces for Natalie.
Oh,
So you don't gotta take them out the fucking dishwasher.
It's over. You can't
Anymore.
go back. You
Nothing
can't
anymore.
go back.
It's
All right.
over.
Do you know at the pop-up shop, people was like, "Yo," people was asking me like, "Do y'all
I was
have
like,
enough?"
it's in the plastic. I
At
had
the
enough.
pop-up, I bought a whole bag just so we can...
Just so we had
that-
enough.
yeah.
Niggas
You know what? I'm
is
not
afraid
gonna
to share with
complain
you.
because I was running low. So thank you. You actually supplied me the first time.
There you
so.
go. And then, because you
God.
guys had an unhinged weekend.
Stop! It's fucking lit. We got the kettle one.
Don't judge.
First of all,
All right. A lot of you.
let's take a moment.
A lot of
Let's
you.
take a moment. No, fuck
Oh,
that.
that was my
We
go-to
went
when I was
out.
like 25.
That's what I'm saying. I said it's unhinged, bro. Going back to a dark time in my
This is
life.
like a memory though from that night because
We went out recently this
Yes,
past weekend,
yes.
and I wanted vodka. I'm done with tequila, so I was like kind of like forcing you and Amy
Kind
for the
of,
vodka.
kind of,
I was like,
kind
let's
of,
get the vodka. Let's
kind
get
of.
vodka.
But you know what? I was on the type of time I was like, whatever y'all want to do, you know, we're just gonna rock out.
So
like,
initially we were gonna get Tito's initially, but they didn't have it, so we got the kettle one. This is smooth as fuck. We were taking shots of it all
Okay.
night. Smooth. Why did you stop drinking vodka?
Because I became a man and started drinking whiskey.
all
All
right,
right. Ain't nobody drinking whiskey.
Don't ask the whiskey guy. Don't
Nah,
ask the
not
whiskey
really.
guy.
I'm
It
not.
depends. It's like a mood
What's your
drink.
go-to? What's your go-to?
I like Moet, bro.
Oh, you like
Oh,
Moet?
okay. That's
Okay,
your
I
go-to.
get that. I
Yeah.
get that. Well, thank you for this.
This
we
is
will definitely be
hilarious,
enjoying
though.
it. Bitch,
Nah,
this will
I
be
love you
taken
for
on the girls'
that.
trip. Me and Tony are going on a girls' trip.
Stay
we will
tuned
be
for the content.
we will be bringing that with us.
Oh, thanks, Jar.
Thank you,
I got
Jar.
you.
We really appreciate it. All right, so Jar, like always, topic from the bowl. You are our guest.
Why are you laughing, man?
See what shenanigans you get yourself into.
I'm gonna go to the bottom.
Here.
If it's whack, feel
Let's
free
see.
to put it back and get another one.
Absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
we'll make it fun.
No. If it's whack, put it back. If it's whack, put it back.
If your average life expectancy was 200 years, how would you change your life?
Oh shit.
What the fuck?
200 years?
200 years is a long
So you got
time.
double. So you got
All right.
double the time, like double.
But-
average life expectancy. So it don't mean you're gonna live 200 years. It's possible you could live. You know.
You live close to it though.
So like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
like
yeah.
150 or something.
Right.
But okay, am I gonna be 200 and still look good, or I'm gonna start like deteriorating?
that would suck. After like
Because
80.
that matters how I'm gonna live my life. Because if after 100 I can't even walk anywhere, what the fuck am I really gonna do? I'm gonna beg for death.
You're gonna go crazy.
Okay, how about we just assume yes, you look 20, 30, 40 for a longer period. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
How would I change my life? Well, all right, so now the way I'm thinking about it is now I have to work longer. It's going to take me longer to retire. I need to really make shit pop off now because to think about having to work where I work now until I'm like 120 years old,
outta
I'm
here.
not fucking with it. Like,
Fuck outta
I'm going to
here.
have to make
Yo,
some
Andrew's mad
serious...
stressed.
See, let's try.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to make some serious changes to what I'm
Movements.
doing to make money and survive because what I'm doing now ain't it until I'm 200. How about you guys?
I don't know. That's tough.
I'll be hyped for more time because best believe I'm getting money. Okay, we live in comfy the last 50 years.
So
we
if
live
you
in
know
comfy.
this, if you know this going into life, are you going to change anything that you've done, like up to this point?
No, absolutely, because you have to even more long-term plan.
So would you change?
Like-
Would you change anything? Would you try to make more money faster, knowing that you have a
Not
you have a lot longer to
necessarily
live?
faster, but I'll make more long-term plans.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like make more long-term investments because I have more time to see that bread back. Feel me?
Hey, I'm
So-
thinking the opposite. I'm thinking about just go party harder
That's how
early
I
on. And then, because I got a longer time at the end to relax and chill. So just go even harder partying
yeah.
when I'm younger.
That's how I'm seeing it too. And
First,
also,
first 60 years of
yeah.
my life, just party and go out crazy.
but then what? Then what?
And then I got a longer time to just
Nah,
relax
I
and chill.
feel you. I feel you
You know
because
what I
it's,
mean?
it's kind of like your 20s. It's
Yeah.
now
It's
until your
extended.
60s
Yeah.
That makes sense.
True.
or your
That makes
50s at least.
You're not hitting your midlife crisis
Exactly.
till you're like 80.
Yeah.
Y'all not trying to live
would
till
change.
200 though. I could tell. I'm trying
I'm
to
not.
live.
But
I
even now, like I feel like I tell people all the time, if I die like around 70, I'm fine with that. Like I don't think I want to continue past that. I feel like after 70, I'm pretty okay.
It just depends
You would
on my
hope
quality
so.
of
You would
life.
hope you're
hope
okay.
so.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did everything
It
you
just
wanted
depends
to
on
do
your
in life.
quality of life. Like if you're still
Exactly.
walking, talking, doing everything for yourself
Yeah.
at
Just want it.
70,
Yeah.
then yeah, you're gonna want to live longer. But if you like, God forbid, not
I think
living.
it gets to a point that I start thinking like, damn, like once my family's gone, my close friends are gone, it's like, why am I still? That's why you see a lot of older people, they just kind of like check out. They don't give a fuck about nothing. They
It's
say
true.
what's on their mind. They do whatever they want because they're like, yo, at this point, whenever death comes, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go. But going back to the 200 years thing, I think a lot of people would reevaluate the relationships they're in. Because if you're in a toxic relationship for
200
years, like,
like a
I think
fucking
people are
jail
going to be
sentence.
making a lot more decisions
doing
with
that,
that.
yeah.
Like a jail
because-
sentence.
And I think we
Jesus.
wouldn't even have that pressure of like, oh, by 30 we should be married, or by 40 I should have the house.
Yeah,
or by
you still
this-
got time.
You'll like live a little bit more.
You got
So,
time.
yeah.
That's the theme. You got time.
That was a good question. I like that.
Thank you.
So I did want to talk about really quickly the submarine that went missing.
Oh my God.
Um,
First of all, I just learned that it was a father and a son. Is that right? Did you guys hear that?
I thought there was like 4 people.
It's
I don't
5
know.
people.
5
Five
people.
people.
right?
Five.
But 2 of them are not father and a son,
I think a billionaire father and a billionaire
I think
son.
so.
Some shit like that.
which is like crazy.
So apparently the company charges $250,000 per person to go down into this excursion. So they actually do this. Like this is a thing that they do.
Willingly.
Yeah.
Like they actually charge
I
people
think
to
this
do
is one of the
this.
first.
Okay. 'Cause
excursions.
It's
I
for the
was-
Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
it's
go
called
down
Titan.
to see the Titanic
They go to the
remains or the ruins, which I didn't even know were still down there.
course.
It's off the shores of Canada. It's not too
Yeah.
far from here.
But I would think, because I thought they were actually doing this, I'm like, you guys don't have any protocol in place. Or even now, if you're charging that much, there's no protocol in place in case something like that happens. Like, there's no rescue team. There's no backup submarine following them.
The
like,
Titanic is so far down that it takes hours just for that submarine to get down to that distance. So even like a diver can't get down there. So it's one of those things where
yeah, they said after like an hour and a half, it went missing. Like, they lost
Yeah.
connection or whatever.
The even crazier part is that like the oxygen level is only gonna last.
They said until 6 a.m. tomorrow,
Nasty
Thursday.
work.
So there is like, time is...
I did see another report that, they have sonar technology and that they can hear banging.
Yeah, they heard sound,
They
right?
heard sounds
yeah,
and shit.
I read
So-
that this morning.
Yeah.
So they were gonna look and see if
So,
they
yeah.
found it. Yo, around that area.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this, though?
What do you mean? This is
Like, do
crazy.
you, no,
It's
but
crazy.
like, do
What's
you
a-
guys by any way do you think this is a setup? They're trying to get rid of these people.
What?
You know, people be having conspiracies
Something-
about
I mean,
everything.
I started
Yeah.
thinking,
No, it's a
because
good
I'm like,
question. It's a good
they're
question.
billionaires. Something must be like, I don't know. Something must be going on. Something gotta be
not
going
I think it's a
on.
conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm not
theory.
that big of a conspiracy theory. They literally went to where the Titanic sank. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason why the Titanic sank there, and it's bad.
What is the fascination, though? Would you do it? Would y'all do it?
No.
If there was no risk involved, would
Yeah,
you do it?
Absolutely.
I
You
wouldn't.
said no risk, of course.
I would
do a lot of
die.
things if there's no risk involved. I'll jump out of a fucking
I
plane.
don't think I care enough. You'll jump out of plane?
If there's
I
no
would.
risk involved.
Yeah, if like I knew I wasn't gonna,
What?
I could possibly die. I'm like, let's do
Nah,
it.
if
no
I didn't
risk.
have kids with the risk, I would jump out of plane, like skydive, all that. Oh yeah. After I had kids, it's different, but I would definitely skydive.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Prayers to them. That's really fucked up. Apparently, one of the sons of the billionaire is like at a Blink-182 concert, living his best life, not even concerned.
Yeah, what the
Yes.
fuck?
Cardi B like called him out, like, how you not home with your mom, consoling her, and you at a party?
Right.
I just think that that's crazy.
What can he do?
He bought those
But
tickets
exactly.
ahead of
What
time.
can he do?
What can he do? And does anyone know his relationship with his father?
Right.
I hate the guy.
Good questions.
Like, you don't
People
know.
be so
You don't feel
quick
like
to
that
judge.
goes to the side though when your parent is missing? No matter what, if you have a relationship with your parent, even if it's bad or whatever, they're missing. Like you're not
But
gonna.
You don't know. You don't know if he was speaking to his father yesterday. or the day
Right.
before. He doesn't even know if his father went on that submarine.
Facts.
This is what I'm saying. We don't know their dynamic. He may not have spoken to his father in months or years.
He could have been disowned by his father.
Yeah.
You
He
don't
could have
know
been an
this.
abusive father.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. We're gonna get into the first topic, which was what? Oh, okay. All right. So eventually, I saw a meme, and it says, "Eventually, kids get old enough to see which parent was the problem." I want to just start at the beginning with this. Okay. First of all, do you guys agree with this meme or not?
I only have one parent, so I don't. This doesn't really apply.
When you're growing up, can we all share a little bit of how we viewed our parents growing up? So you're a child, you don't know that your parents are like adults or they make mistakes or whatever. How did you view your parents as a child? Does anybody want to go first?
I mean, I think like anybody, you think your parents at a younger age, like before adolescence, before teenage years, I thought like everything they said was golden. Like what they said was always right. As I grew up, I'm like, okay, there's some discrepancies here. But, but yeah, that's how I viewed them. But then growing up, you realize that, yeah, they weren't right about everything. And we living in different times. So shit changes, and I'm allowed my own opinion. That's how it kind of,
Yeah, I think growing up, I saw my parents, especially my mom, like, oh my God, she's so organized. Everything is perfect. I'm always taken care of. My father was like the clown. I thought he was the funniest man ever. And then, like you said, when you get older and you become like a teenager and you start identifying, like making your own choice, or you want to make your own choices. Like I wanted my piercings. No, you can't do that. If you do that, you worship the devil. Like that's bad. And then you start questioning, like, wait a minute. Like you start questioning your parents more. And I think it comes from more like of a rebellious point that you kind of want to like challenge your parents a lot. And then now that I'm an adult and I have real responsibilities, I actually look at my parents like, yo, they dead us were just like figuring out life the same way I'm currently figuring out life now. I think I give my parents a lot more grace now. And I'm like, oh, like you were really just doing the best you could. And honestly, they did a great job. So like, yeah, I don't know. But like, okay, problem parent, all right, you don't have to get too into it, but have any of you felt like you have a toxic parent? Like there's one parent that's like a little bit more
Yes.
quote unquote unhinged. So to say, maybe they're not like beating your ass or like verbally abusing you, but who's that
Oh
parent
yeah,
for you?
my dad, absolutely. Yeah,
I think
you
it's
know
my
that.
mom for me. You only have one parent.
Yeah, no, my mom was pretty like even killed. I actually had this conversation with my aunt maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. I'd never really understood. I had like a terrible time trying to understand like where my mom was coming from with everything. Like when I was growing up, I was always in trouble. Like never agreed. But now that I'm older, I'm like super thankful for it because even like the people I see around when I'm outside and different shit like that, I'm like, yo, people are fucked.
People are fucked.
People are fucked. Like
and
I'm just
dead ass be like, who raised you?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of home did you come from that you think it's okay?
And I remember I had this conversation with my aunt like when I was younger, maybe like 15, 16, like my mother's older, so I'm like, it's just archaic the way she would raise me, but now I'm like, it's like you said, the times have changed. You can raise a kid the same way. It will work. Because my mother's older, like from a completely different generation, and whatever she taught me, whatever it was, I didn't understand it in the moment, but now I'm like, perfect.
Where's your mom from?
She's from Honduras.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could think of anything, what were some things that you feel like you guys clashed on a lot?
Everything.
Really?
Everything.
What
Like,
were like big things that really challenged you?
You know what it was? A struggle for me was growing up in the town that I grew up in. So I grew up in Scarsdale. So super like a crazy struggle was I didn't always go to Scars. I went to private school. Then from private school, I went to like middle school, straight into middle school, into Scars in middle school. So I had no friends. So it's like trying to make friends, trying to make new friends, but also being aware of just where the fuck I'm at. Like I'm in Scarsdale with a bunch of white kids.
Right.
And it's like,
Scarsdale is a very rich white
Yes.
community.
yes.
Yes.
So like, it was just a lot. There was so much, and then I had my mom in my ear saying like, you got to be careful of this and that.
Yeah. And you didn't understand because you
Never
wasn't
understood
seeing
it because I'm just growing up different. And I'm like, my mother grew up poor. You know what I mean? I'm not growing up poor. So I'm like, you don't even understand what's going on. Like the dynamic of like who I'm around on a day-to-day basis, my friends. So like, I really didn't have a great social life. In fact, that was probably like the basis of most of my arguments was like social life, hanging out with the people I hung out with.
Yeah.
Her not wanting me to make certain mistakes, trying to like save me, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was really it.
What was it? Sorry, I have another question.
No,
You
go
have
ahead.
something to say?
Yeah. Just to
Go ahead.
piggyback off of that, I grew up in the Bronx, and my younger brother, he went to Fordham Prep. And even his experience, if you guys know Fordham Prep, predominantly white school, his experience at that school, even though he lived in the Bronx, he was just seeing and being invited to all of these like very prestigious things and exposed to so much. And it was a blessing, but he definitely did struggle with the fact that he was a person of color and he couldn't always like participate in these things because you still live in the Bronx. Like you're going home to the apartment, like you're not going home. So even like as he grew up, like he definitely struggled too. Like he definitely was a little bit isolated, I feel like. And that's something he had to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Did you feel isolated?
More about my family
Okay.
than anything, just
Yeah, he would
because
say the same.
they have, like I said, my mom is strict, super strict. Like strict, regimented, everything is done this time, that time. So like I live my life outside, then I come home and be like, what the fuck? I feel like I'm in jail.
Yeah.
So that was like the worst part. And then all my friends are just living freely. You know what I
Right.
mean? No real structure, just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful for it because like now a lot of those people that I used to hang out with, I'm just like,
So
wild.
can I ask both of you guys a question? Because you both, yes, men.
Okay.
And you both were raised by single moms, correct?
Yeah.
So I guess just like completely kind of off topic, how did you learn how to be a man? Do you feel like, because, Father's Day just passed and there was a lot of posts of, women saying, oh, happy Father's Day to me, blah, blah, blah. And then you have other people saying, well, as a woman, you still can't raise your son to be a man because you're not a man. So you can't really give that insight to your child. How do you guys feel like your experience was being raised by single moms? And where did you get that positive male, I guess, influence or role model or teachings from?
Like, did you have a male figure or did you kind of
I had
just
a
figure it out?
step-pops.
Okay.
For a lot of my childhood. So I could always see how he was. And I always had I always hung out with like older dudes. And I was always outside as a kid. Like I was outside all the time. That's why I'm so like more chill now. Like every day I was outside. And I used to be outside with all the older dudes like chilling, playing basketball, playing sports. So I got like my male role model and stuff from sports, from coaches.
Yeah.
Got it.
Even, like watching coaches on TV, then like my high school coaches and like all those type of people. So it was definitely sports that gave me like that, and I played sports all year round. So like a lot of like the key like positive figures for me were all like coaches and shit. Like my high school coach died of cancer my
Oh my gosh.
10th grade year. He was the reason why I went to my high school. So that was a big thing in my school. He was like a big figure in Yonkers. Where like the funeral was like hundreds and hundreds of people. Like it was crazy. So like his influence on me was great. And I saw like how when he passed away, how the entire school kind of changed.
The impact.
And like, so, I would see like the way he was and carried himself and like people like that. And that's what made me like say, okay, this is the type of person I would want to be like a male man. I want to be like,
Right.
yeah.
How about you?
Not really. No real male figures until I got a little bit older, but my mom always made sure that she kind of coached me and taught me. She was really good at that. And then, like probably when I was like 16 or 17, my aunt remarried. Well, she remarried. And then, so I had my uncle who just recently passed, but he taught me a lot. Not really directly, but indirectly of me just paying attention. How he just carried
He made
himself.
an example.
How he took care of his business. He had kids, so always made sure his kids were straight no matter what. Like he took care of his business. So I always had like those type of male figures. Like my uncle, like I had uncles on my mother's side, like just you just see them always took care of their business. So that's what I had. So I just learned from that.
A lot of times with like boys, like young boys or young men, we observe older guys so much that as if they're just there doing the right thing, we'll see that. They don't need to have those like direct conversations with us.
Yeah.
But it was also one point when I was a kid that I could have went the wrong way because my pops was in prison. And I used to just go to school and just like start fights, curse teachers out, and do all this shit because my father was in prison. So like I was looking up to my dad thinking, yo, he's in prison. That means he's a tough guy. So I have to be a tough guy and got to act this way. But then I started seeing like those other people I was mentioning, and I was like, I don't have to be that way. And that's when I stopped and kind of more chilled out. But when I was really young, like elementary school up to like about 5th, 6th grade, like I used to always want to fight people. Like I used to have a lot of fights back then. And like I said, I used to curse teachers out. It was like just stupid shit because I thought I had to be a tough guy because my father was locked up, and I thought that would make him proud of me behaving that way.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought. Because like, you know, when you see shit and you hear shit, you kind of follow behind it. So that's.
Don't you think it's interesting? I don't know if y'all ever actually thought about this, but do you ever question like, how come I turned out good, I guess, quote unquote, as good as we can be, right? Like I feel like we're all decent human beings and we treat people pretty decently. How did we turn out this way versus people who don't? Because there's even parents who are great parents and their children just come out like, it's like, who raised you? Because you didn't come out of me. Like, you're not my child. Like, where's the switch? I don't know if we can answer that here if it's possible to, but.
We probably don't know the answer,
My
but I
mom.
just feel like essentially it's a choice.
What do you mean your mom?
I think it's my mom, but also it's not just saying my mom exposing me to different lifestyles, right? So when we had Phoenix on, she said she was a Bronx survivor, right? So like there are people in the Bronx who never leave the Bronx. They think Yonkers is upstate.
Yeah.
So imagine someone that never leaves the Bronx.
Yeah.
Maybe the furthest they go is like Brooklyn or fucking Staten Island, somewhere around the boroughs. Think about that mentality. When I was a kid, I used to travel places. I went away. We did things. So when you go to different places and see how other people live, it just opens your mind. So you're not just like closed-minded into this. Because if you're from the inner city, like the Bronx or some shit, I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
Your mind's gonna be so fucked. Because that's all you see.
Product of your environment.
Yeah, you're such a product of your environment. So if you go to like a Scarsdale, and you see the way they live, you're gonna be like, "The fuck is this?"
Right.
It's gonna be so.
Like, oh, my
foreign
life
to you.
could possibly be different.
Yeah,
I could possibly have this.
So that's where it comes. Just traveling and seeing different people the way they live, and for like at least some prolonged period of time, that helps you develop how you be quote unquote good.
Yeah. All right.
Love that.
Thank you,
Love
Anthony.
that.
Okay. Damn. Well, yeah, we can get into this. All right. I want thoughts. I want reactions on this topic. Derek Jackson, do we know who he is?
Oh God, he's back.
No.
He's back. All right. So Derek Jackson, if you don't know who he is a man who's kind of like the Kevin Samuels, but he's pro women. So he's really pro like he shits on men. Men should treat women like this. A real king treats his queen like royalty. A real man is going to be consistent if he loves you. He's going to respect you, blah, blah, blah. So I think a couple years ago, it came out that he was like serial cheating on his wife. Like cheating. And everybody was like, this guy is such a hypocrite. Like,
Absolutely.
You've been shitting on men, telling us how men value women and how to value them, but you've been cheating on your wife, like nothing, whatever. So he did like a whole public apology with his wife on the couch, whatever. But then his wife came out, and I don't even know if they're still married. I probably should have looked it up. But apparently while they were married, he was having her watch videos of him having sex with other women so she could learn how to please him. Thoughts. Reactions. Go.
Oh my goodness.
Where are we gonna start?
From a women's standpoint, y'all go first.
Oh, okay.
So y'all under the bus.
Damn. Honestly, It all depends how the conversation went. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really hard to watch though. At first reaction, hell the fuck no. I don't want to watch this shit. Are you fucking crazy?
So what do you mean by it depends on how the conversation was?
I want to know, how much brainwashing took place? Because how are you cool with that? And remain and like actually do it. And there would be moments where he would like be having sex with women, and they'll be coming down the stairs afterward, and she'll be going up, and like they're meeting each other. They're saying what's up to each other. That's what I'm saying. So, but then she's on an interview talking about it. Like, if it was something that was like, really traumatic for her, and it's like, to me,
gaslighting.
I'm not like discrediting how traumatized she might be now, but I'm thinking in the moment, like, what kind of conversations were being had that you actually sat down and watched the videos. Now, I have a small question. It's not super related, but how do you feel when you see your partner flirting with someone else? Does a part of you get turned on, or does a part of you get jealous? Because there are people who get off like seeing their partner engage.
I forgot what the word is, but there
is that not cuckold?
I guess it can be a cuck, but
yeah,
I guess it can.
But there's a certain term, and I forgot it. We should know it by now because we've had a number of sex therapists on here teaching us.
Sorry, it's like a cuckold when you enjoy watching your partner engage in activities with other. So that could be a part of it. I'm not sure.
So you mean activities? You mean like just flirting?
Flirting or no? Well, it's really cuckold supposed to be sex, like sexual activities. I can't think of a word I don't know the word that's like when it's just flirting or.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I'm not gonna front. There are times where I like to see my partner being desired by other women.
Yeah.
At least you know you didn't make a fucking mistake.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I want to know that people desire you. Like, that makes you more attractive to me. I don't know what that is or why that is, but it just is. So I don't know if there was a level of that with that.
It just depends on the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be a respectful conversation.
What's the conversation?
How can that be respectful?
Yeah, make it respectful right now.
Like, how?
Make it respectful.
Like,
I'm coming from a bi-curious like standpoint. I think that's what it is. That's like making me the outlier right now.
No, I think regardless, how could you?
Hey, babe.
You're not
really
pleasing
like
me.
This shorty.
You're not
I really
pleasing
like
me.
This shorty. Right. I want to experiment a little bit more. Like, we've had these with our sex therapist on it. I want to experiment a little bit more. How would you feel if we experimented with this female? Like, I'm talking as the man, like trying to say like, hey, like I want more out of our sex life. I really would like to experiment with this female. And when I mentioned, how did the conversation go? Did it start with, I cheated on you and this is why? Or did it start with honesty? Like, I didn't cheat on you, but I'm having these desires and I want to tackle these desires before it gets to that. You know what I'm saying?
She probably said, no, I don't want to participate. And he was like, okay, well, are you willing to watch me engage in activities and record it?
But those are two super different things that you're talking about, though. Because from what you said, I'm getting that he had sex with these girls, videotaped it, and then said, hey, you're not pleasing me, but this girl did.
Yeah, no.
Can you do what she did?
Yeah, no.
I'm not getting the fact that he approached her for like a threesome or to have somebody else inside the room. Yeah. I think those are two separate things.
Yeah, they are. They are.
That's
weird. From my understanding, that's what I got. Like, he's like, oh, you can't do the job, but this girl can. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. Can you watch this so you can learn?
Like, figure it out, bitch. Figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. That's
so
strange.
I wouldn't react. I wouldn't react positive. Yeah, I wouldn't react
like a positive reaction to that. And then that's your wife or your girl. Like, how can you?
It was clearly an open marriage on his end because he was doing this with multiple women.
One-sided, but very
one-sided. But for me, as a woman, if you sit down and engage and actually watch the videos, you are an active participant in that open relationship too, whether you are having sex with other men or not. And I know we have to switch the cameras, but I'm gonna leave it off on this question and we can answer it back. How do you feel about watching porn then with your partner to pick up new tricks? Is that better because you don't see your partner?
That's very different.
Super different.
Yeah.
But what do you want to know? I don't know. We can talk about it. Okay, yes. Porn is different because you're not seeing your partner. I guess devil's advocate, wouldn't you want to know exactly how your partner has been touched and you can see it and then do it?
Nah,
I'm just saying, I'm not okay with it. I'm just saying, devil's
why
advocate.
Don't you just ask? why don't you just
Like,
ask?
sometimes it's like, it's better if I show you.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
I've had conversations, they were uncomfortable. But when you're really exploring like your sexuality with your partner and you get into that like comfort zone, like, oh, I want to try this or I want to do this. Like me and like my partner have said like, oh, I like this. Or I've done this before with her. And I'd be like, oh, I've done this with him. When you get to that level of comfort, like you can share things like that. Things you like, things you don't like.
Right.
So I feel like,
I think that's a little bit different though.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
it's
I'm saying.
different.
We're
It's
talking about something
different.
totally
Yeah.
different.
No.
You like showing the video?
No.
Because you know
I
what
think
it
the
is?
punchline is we ain't watching you fuck some
I'm
other
about to
bitch.
say.
No,
Yeah.
we're
I'll
not
put this
doing
in
that.
perspective for you guys. If your partner was like, hey, I'm going to show you a video of me fucking somebody else,
No.
are you going to be like, yeah,
No.
let's watch?
No,
I think
no.
I would watch it if it was like an old video.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's not gonna be during your relationship.
Well, I'm thinking,
I mean,
this was during. Don't say
I mean-
obvious because they were obviously doing it while they were still
I
married.
mean, if it was
So,
yesterday,
come
that's
on.
old too. Old is relative.
Nah, come on. That's not that old. If
I'm
this
just
is
saying,
like
old yesterday.
years before me, at least 2-3 years before
Listen,
me.
Say if it's
I
a
would
new
watch it.
say if
As
it's a new
someone that knows
relationship
you-
and it's like, oh, 3 months before you, I was having sex with this girl.
No, 3 months is too soon.
I'm about to say,
3 months is too
someone
soon.
that knows Natalie, cap.
No, I would want to watch it.
No, you would not.
I would want to watch it.
You would be
Yes,
like,
I
listen,
would.
you would be like, yo,
Yes,
there's a
I
video of
would.
me fucking some other. You would be like, no, nigga, bye.
the fuck are you talking about?
Yo,
Yes,
y'all
you
know
would.
the old Natalie.
You have one too many conversations about an ex. Natalie.
No.
Cap.
No. I would be curious. It's years ago. Why would it bother me?
If it was, we're not talking about years ago. We're talking about yesterday.
No, nobody said
matter.
yesterday. I did not agree or consent to yesterday. But a couple years ago, why not?
Right now.
Curiosity.
Right now.
No, right now. Right,
Right
now,
now
what?
in your space. In the space you're in right now.
Give me all the details of the scenario. How
Right.
long ago
This thing.
was he having
This is what I'm
sex?
You're
saying.
annoying.
It's cap. That's why.
It's not cap. Because 3 months
We're
is crazy. You
still-
probably still talk to this bitch.
The thing is that we're still like
See?
getting away from the
Right.
situation. We're still getting away from the situation. The fact of the matter is he fucked these women when he was with his wife
Yes.
and he was showing the videos of his infidelity. We would not be okay with that. Point blank, period.
But I don't know if it was really infidelity because she knew what was happening. So that's
Oh,
the
I see what you're
thing.
saying.
That's also my issue.
The other
It couldn't have
question-
been that big of a problem
Right,
because you sat there and you
right.
watched it
Right.
and you continue to stay married to this
So
man.
the question is now, like, what conversation happened between them that you sat there and was okay with watching these videos?
Right.
Listen.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. What
how?
kind of
How did he get
brainwashing?
there? Yeah.
People do strange shit for love. I
People
know you
are-
guys all
yeah.
have fucked up stories about weird shit you've done for someone that you love.
Yeah.
Just based off Natalie's face.
I'ma say
I know
yeah.
there's
I'ma
like a
say
fucking
yeah.
list.
Not that weird.
YES.
But yeah, there's shit that you do that you will never be able to like plausibly explain to somebody like, hey, this is why I did that.
Okay, so just so we're clear, none of you would want to see an old video, but you guys are willing to talk about past experiences.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really care. I can watch old videos.
See, so you could watch.
But you
Could
can be
watch.
you gotta be comfortable in where you're at in your relationship and then
I feel like we're
whatever
having
else
an
you're
open
doing.
conversation, and it's like, yo, like one night we probably a little drunk or we high, and it's like, yo, I still got the. All right, like let's watch it real quick. Whatever. It don't gotta be nothing crazy.
If it wasn't
know.
a current video,
I ain't about to see
yeah.
my girl with a dick like on her forehead, like up close and
dick
personal.
on the forehead.
Not the sound
But
effects.
you gotta be honest. You gotta be honest, bro. I know.
Forehead
You gotta
is
be
crazy.
it's different.
Why did it go there? Just straight to
you
dick
gotta,
on the
no, but
forehead.
you gotta,
Like,
you gotta be
My dick on
honest,
someone's
bro.
forehead.
You're not dating at this point in our lives. Nobody's
course.
dating
That's
and
what I'm
fucking with a
saying.
fucking virgin.
Thank
So like
you.
we know
Thank
That's,
you.
that's what I'm saying. I get that, but I still don't want to see like that much as a.
all right.
Bro, if you and your girl are wild,
Moving
you could
on.
just
Moving on.
you could honestly admit that she's
Transition.
fucking wild with somebody else. It's like
Transition.
Yeah, let's just go to a
It's
swinger
over.
party together and we do this together.
whatever.
I'm good
Right,
with
would
that.
you go to a sex club with your partner?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the fucking difference
No,
between
I-
that
no,
and
I don't-
watching?
No,
you're
I don't
giving
care about it.
consent.
I don't
You
care
don't
about
care.
it, but I feel like you guys were you guys were trying to dance around it,
Yeah,
bringing up
we
other
were,
scenarios
we
instead
were.
of just
We
like
were. We were
looking at it the way it was.
I don't recall
We
dancing.
was like adding different elements to
Yeah,
it.
Tony went from that to like asking for a threesome, which
Yeah.
wasn't
I
the
think
same
in general,
conversation.
women, we do that a lot. We'll like add a lot of different shit. Men are like, no, this is what it is. Yes or no, you with it or not.
We tried not. We tried.
We tried. All right. So
Sorry,
a little,
bitch, you on your own.
a little lighthearted topic. All right, you guys saw the video of the public proposal, or should we rewatch it?
Bro, I think that shit is fake.
You think it's fake?
I
Bro,
think
it looks
it's
so
Or let
fake.
me
It's fake
pretend it's
too.
real just for the sake of the conversation.
Sure.
Do I have to replay it or are we good?
Nah, we good.
Okay. First, I want to just talk about what is the fascination behind public proposals?
I don't know.
Because I do not want a public proposal at all.
So
Please.
I get it. Most of these happen at sporting events.
But why?
Men's first love is usually sports.
Ah, see
Yeah.
what you did there.
Think about what I'm gonna say all men, but a lot of men love more than anything else. Going to watch the game with their boys, Sundays watching the game, dressed
Yeah.
up.
They
in
trying to put it all together.
So it's like my dream is to be in my Madison Square Garden, the home of like the Knicks, my favorite team, I love the most. I want to propose to my woman here and get married here and all kind of crazy shit. That's their first love. So they want to join
I get
the two.
it. I
By
get
doing
it.
that, you make yourself, you open yourself up to this type of bullshit, though.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I also think like when a man like, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, but when a man like really loves a woman and really like trying to show up for her, you want to do the grand, what is it called?
Grand
Yeah,
gesture?
grand gesture.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want to do the grand gesture. You want to take it to that next
But
level.
you can do that shit without doing it in front of fucking
No, I
25,000
agree.
people.
No, I agree 150%. But I'm just saying, like, you know, someone who's not too creative, you think this is like the best thing ever.
Right.
So is the narrative that she was fucked up for doing it or what? Like, what's the narrative behind that?
So now I'm gonna ask you a question about this. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you, because it was in the comments, would you be the type to be like, yeah, and then afterwards be like, no, nigga,
No, I think I'm going to say no if I really feel
in
no.
person in front of everybody?
In front of everybody.
So you-
Because yeah, go ahead. No,
Go.
I'm already. If I'm not ready, so this is gonna be like a whole conversation, but okay. One, I do not like public anything. I get very awkward, very anxious. I don't like surprises. I always tell, and I know for a fact, like whoever I'm with, if
You
we
tell
get to
them
that
that.
point, I'm
You
gonna
voice
tell them
them.
like, if you plan on proposing to me, please do it in private. I don't even want my family around because there is a certain level of pressure too for me. That it's like, I feel like people expect you to react a certain way.
Like fucking cry and shit.
Cry, scream. I'm not that girl. Like, I don't think I'm even going to cry when someone, because it's like, obviously, we've been together for however many, like, we've already spoken about this. We've planned
It's a
for
little
this.
bit
It's the next
expected.
step.
It's expected. It's the
Naturally,
next
yeah.
step. So it was like, yeah, you propose, me and you, intimate, great. So now you're already doing something public that I'm already uncomfortable with. So that's already throwing me off in my mood. Like, I can't hide how I feel. So now if also I'm not ready and it's the wrong time, I just cannot fake it and be like, yes, just to save face. Like, no, I'm not saving no face. It's a no for me, and I'm sitting down. The same way she did it. And it was like fucked up and awkward, but I feel like
Yeah.
there's so many reasons why she could have said no too. Like, we don't even know. They probably are fresh in the relationship. Maybe there's been infidelity.
So
there could
many
be
different
so
things.
many reasons
So
why she
many
said no.
different
So
things,
I
yeah.
really don't know. But for me, it's a no.
Maybe she didn't want to get proposed to at a sports game.
Maybe
That
that
too.
too.
Like that would be not.
Maybe
yeah.
that too. Like, why are we doing this? Do you feel though, if you propose, I mean, as the man here, if your girl was to say no, is there a way to continue the relationship?
Fuck no.
Or do you feel like it's over? Like, if you don't want to marry me, then
If I did it in public, fuck, I couldn't be seen with you again. It's over. Bro,
It's
he's on Instagram proposing to this girl, and she says no. You have everybody looking at him.
and you have to keep like that video is everywhere. You keep reliving
It went
it.
viral. There's no way I can't be near you anymore. It's over.
Only one way. In a situation like that, right? If she tells me she does not want this type of proposal, and I do it anyway, then I'm the fucking dumbass.
Of course.
Right.
So it's like, you know what? I gotta hold that L if I still want to be with this person and do it the way, in a more intimate, just us two kind of way, in a more private way.
Right.
So that's maybe that
Okay,
kind
now
of
what if
situation.
she did want the grand proposal? You did it and she still says
Well, then
no.
it's different. Then we don't need to be in a relationship anymore.
So you don't feel like there's any way that it could be like, all right, maybe we could just revisit this in a year?
I've never been there where I wanted to propose to someone, but I feel like if you're at that point, you know they're gonna say yes. So maybe he was just like completely left field and did this shit. And she was like, bro, what are you doing?
But you don't think it's a possibility that maybe she's just not ready yet? You know what I'm saying?
That could be the thing too.
Why can't that be the conversation afterwards? Like they had their moment. She embarrassed him or whatever.
Really,
But like
really embarrassed him. And then afterwards, she's like, "Listen, babe, like, of course, like because it could be her giving mixed signals. Like they could have discussed it, right? They could have." She could have gave the signals like, yeah, I'm ready for this, but maybe he misunderstood, like, oh, right now.
But I feel like you would have multiple conversations about that. You would know that it's not right now, not in this moment. No?
Maybe, but maybe not. It could be, the timing,
Also, some men, well, let me not put it on men, but some people in general, they're just like delusional. It's like even the girls who like get with the toxic guy and they think they're gonna change him.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, she said right now, but I'm sure if I made this really special, she would say yes. And it's like, bro, no, it's a no.
But a proposal is so specific. There's no way. It's like such a specific and special moment. There is no way you could be that delusional.
No, you would think. You would think. But if you're not having the conversations and you're seeing everything you would want and desire in this person, I feel like, I don't know, just from watching these proposals that happen like on Instagram and shit, like the way that the woman is like so surprised sometimes, I really feel like the crying and all that.
Like they didn't know it was coming?
Yeah. It's like, what, the jig is up, bitch. Like, how do you know?
That's what I'm saying. How do you not know like this is coming? I'm sure you have had conversations.
No. I really feel like sometimes the way these women react, I mean, they must not know it's coming. Maybe they like sprinkled.
His wife now basically forced him to propose the way she wanted to. So,
but then it's not a surprise. You know.
Right.
Like,
no, it's not the same.
There has to be conversation before.
But you don't get that vibe. Like,
I think when women
why would the women react so crazy?
I think they react that way because they probably went through my thing is they went through so much with that man, and he probably put that girl through like,
or maybe she put him through. Come on,
maybe. Yeah. All right, fine, whatever. Better for the
all right now.
I'm just saying that it's like, yo, I don't think this man is ever, because even so my sister, sorry, putting you on blast, but she was with her man for a while.
Hi, Priscilla.
And Chris, her husband now, but at the time he was like, I don't believe in marriage. I think marriage is a waste of time. It's just a piece of paper. So I remember her having conversations with me like, I really don't think he's gonna marry me or propose. Like, we've been together for so long, we live together, but he's always saying how he doesn't believe in it. And she would like cry and be upset about it. And so when he finally proposed, she cried and it was a big deal. So I get it. Like, she really did not believe that he would ever do it.
Right.
So I think, that's probably why they react that way. So that could be a possibility.
Yeah, it could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in marriage?
I believe in the beautiful symbolism of it.
That's a We're gonna dance around it. Dance around that shit.
You know why? Because every time I have these conversations with men specifically, it's always like, oh, but you should know I'm committed to you without the piece of paper, without the ring, and without this. So it's like men have really ruined the idea of marriage for me because of the way they view it. It's like, damn, this doesn't sound like something you want to engage in with me or with any woman.
At the end of the day, I'm a man that never wanted marriage, never saw that shit growing up. Like, I've told the story before. But I've been in relationships where I would have done it because the person I was with, I love that person and I wanted to be with that person.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. When you with someone and you know that's the ultimate end goal, and at the end of the day, most women want that end goal. So if you really love this person, you're going to
and that's how I view marriage. Like, we're doing it, we're in love. You're the person I want to do life with, so let's do it for that. Let's be like super committed to each other in that way, and let's join in that way. All the other like legal aspects of it and prenups and all this extra shit, it's just like it takes away from the beauty of it. So that's why I say I believe in this beautiful symbolism of it. All that other shit, I know it comes with it, but I don't really.
I honestly feel like marriage is just like a celebration. Like, y'all already married. Y'all already committed to each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like the finance part is not together. Like, y'all not filing your taxes together yet and all that shit. But I'm saying, like, the commitment is already there beforehand. Facts. I don't feel like you get married and now you're committed. No. And I feel like, you know, really like old timers, because I've had these conversations with old timers, even like people at my job, like nurses at my job, like they'll question me like, oh, you're not married? Like, you're not married? Like, why not? Like, you have to get married. You need to get that ring, girl. Like, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? Right. But I just feel like when you're there, this is what I believe, like when you're there, it's really just a celebration of what you already have. You're sharing what you already found, what you already know is there with people you love. That's really what it is for me. That's what it is. I don't think that anything changes when you're married. I don't think that there's a higher level of commitment when you're married. I don't think the relationship should change when you're married. Like, but I feel like, again, it's a celebration.
How do you feel about marriage?
I'm gonna get killed for this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get killed for this.
Yes, he does. When you come on this podcast, you are transparent and you are open.
There is a contract we signed before.
Let me tilt the mic for you a little bit.
So for me, I've always said this, like, to myself from just watching people that I know get married. For me, it's gonna be more of like I'm gonna view it more as like a business deal than anything. Because
I get it though.
If I'm committed to you, then we don't need to get married to know that. Not that I'm against marriage, I'm not. But for me, the commitment would be the further commitment, the higher commitment would be like having kids. So let's have kids, and we'll be committed to the fact that we want to bring up and raise these kids the best way possible, and not, you know, cut them short, or I can't think of the word right now, or like not short them of
the experience of a family.
Of any experiences, or living the best life that they could possibly live. I'm realistic. I don't believe in loving forever, like loving somebody forever. I believe it, but I know it's also an unrealistic
shit
idea.
happens. Shit
like
happens.
Where people fall out of love. As you get older, you live through different things. You could fall out of love. So my thing would be not commitment necessarily to the person, because that would come before that. It would just be a commitment to just, I guess, providing the best quality of life.
So I got a question. I got one question. Because you said that your aunt, you saw a marriage there, right? That's someone that was really close to you.
Yeah.
Did you see a good, happy marriage growing up?
No, you saw not to put her on blast, but you saw the disagreements and everything. Like, you saw that. So that's why I'm coming from a place where I know people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We have such a short attention span with people and everything. I don't see somebody, you know, that whole bullshit, like we're going to be together forever.
I'm with you on that, because I feel the same way.
I feel like at some point we'll fall out of love, or the love might not be the same as you were when we're fucking 30, when we turn 50.
Yeah, and it's not to shit on that either. Because I feel you. I feel like when you say that, people are like, oh, like, then what's the point? And like, how can you have such a negative outlook? But it's like what you said, like, we know people. People change. And you are, even in your 30s, you feel like, because even now, I feel like, oh, I have such a good grasp on who I am. But when I'm 40, that might change. When I'm 50, that might change. You're going to fucking change. Are we going to change that we complement each other still? We don't fucking know.
We don't know.
Marriage is a beautiful thing, and I'm still willing to do it. But I'm also okay with, like, we might get a divorce. That could also be a possibility. And if it's not working, and if that's what we feel like is the right thing for us to do, then that's fine too. Like, I'm for whatever.
I feel like growing up, especially like as a female, Hispanic female, that's always been drilled in our head. You with that person, especially as a Catholic, and now we'll attest to
even
this.
when you're 16, like, that's it.
Yeah, that's your first love. You're gonna marry, and that was drilled so much in our head that, like, we really had to, like, push the barrier and really train ourselves to realize that it's not always like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know.
And I think it's that mentality that has a lot of older people stuck in really unhealthy marriages, loveless marriages, because they're like it's ingrained in them. Like, oh no, this is we have to stick it out. And it's like, but you don't.
But to be devil's advocate, just on that topic, I do feel that if you do get to that point that you're like, if you're married and you've been committed to this person for so long, like, put the work in.
Of course.
Before you're like, oh, I fell out of love.
Yes.
Put the work in.
What happens when you
Have
get to
those
that point,
conversations. No, when you get to that point, you at that point. But I do very much believe in putting the work in. And I don't mean having a few conversations. I don't mean no. If therapy is necessary, do the therapy. If you
a
need
sex
to
club is necessary, do the sex
explore those options. Like explore
Bro,
just because no, seriously.
Whatever,
Seriously.
no, with consent,
Sometimes,
of
yes.
course. With consent,
No,
if everyone's
because
comfortable.
people be like, oh, I tried everything. I did everything I could.
And like, did you really?
Did you really?
Right.
Or did you just give up? And I just feel like, you know, when you, especially if you like 50 years old, did y'all really try everything? Are you sure?
Yeah, because you really want to be out here in these streets at 50. Like,
Who you
But then it
finding
gets to
at?
the question: is like, why do you even get into exclusive relationships with anyone?
Because in the moment, like I'm a firm believer that people in relationships have seasons. So like, I use that in my life when it comes to people and me just like disengaging from people. Like there's seasons. Like we might be in the right season for like our friendship, but then we fall out of season and you know shit might just not work
and
anymore.
who knows? That season could last. It could last forever.
It could last
no
for
one's saying
50
we don't
years.
want it to last forever.
No, I'm not saying that, but I got to be realistic. There might be a point where, you know, we're just not on the same. Bro, what I prioritize now at 28 years old is not going to be what I prioritize at 50.
Right.
My life will change.
Right.
You know.
And a
You
lot
never
of
know.
older people, let me tell you, a lot of older people shame us like younger people about claiming what you want and what you need out of life and claiming your happiness. And I really don't like that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like just backing off of what you said, like just sticking with that relationship for 40 years, 30 years, and you're not happy. I feel like, you know, old timers will look at that and be like, oh, like, no, you should have stayed with your husband. You should have stayed with your wife. You're in a committed relationship, etc. But there's beauty in like our generation and really realizing like what makes you happy. And if that's not the standard of society, it's such a beautiful thing that like our generation has, that just saying, you know what? No, it's not for me.
I'm good.
I don't
We had
need
a great
that.
time. We learned so much with each other, from each other,
Get what I'm
and
saying?
now it is time to move forward. I don't see anything wrong with that. Any final thoughts on that?
No, that was good. We went in.
We have 2 more topics. I want to get into the Sukihana situation. Did you guys watch the video? We're going to insert it, but do you want to rewatch it?
No, I did. I had to ask my sister though, because I didn't know who the fuck she
This
was.
shit's still busting.
So apparently, thank you.
Just a side note.
We had some help from Jar though.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Sorry. Side note.
There's been a lot of like think pieces on this, so I kind of want to I want to tackle it in a different way. So like the obvious thing is, so Sukihana, if you don't know, she's very, I'm gonna say, sex forward.
Yeah.
Very. I know she has her OnlyFans that she actually like performs sexual acts with her man on her OnlyFans for people to watch. So, and she talks very explicitly, whatever. So there's of course the topic of, well, if you don't want to be treated a certain way, or you don't want men to assault you, quote unquote, then maybe you shouldn't carry yourself that way. I don't really want to speak on that.
It's weird shit.
It's weird. I know, like, I remember me and Anthony had a conversation about this in an episode that we did together, because I was like, why can't women dress how they want to dress without fear of being assaulted or touched or disrespected? And I remember Anthony saying, that's just not the reality we live in. So unfortunately, you may want to dress however or act however, but you have to be prepared that still comes with consequences.
You're sending a message. You're sending a message.
Which is fine, but it's a weird, it's just weird.
Yeah.
So we can stay off that. I really want to talk about 2 things with this. One, because I know me and you have been in these situations with men that we're cool with, and they've never tried anything, ever, ever, ever. And then there is one night that there's alcohol involved, and they become a different person. And now we are uncomfortable, but because we as women, and this is a real thing that women go through, there's like an embarrassment or a shame or like still a responsibility to protect the man, even though he's making us feel uncomfortable in the moment. And we feel like we need to protect him just based off of the history we have with him. Oh, well, in general, he's a good guy. He's never done this before. I don't want to make other people look at him weird.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of a very specific situation, but we're not going to talk about it here. But I feel like, you know.
That's why you're supposed to shame him. Put him out on blast.
Nah, we definitely can't shame this person. We probably should, but honestly, no. And even now, I still feel like the need to protect that person because just off of like the strength of it. And it's like, why?
Just because
why?
I just feel like people make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? That's really my whole point. People make mistakes. Maybe they're just really under the influence and they just like, oh wow, look at that ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, but is that okay? No, it's not okay. But,
it's not okay.
But people make mistakes.
People make mistakes, but I know for a fact this person I'm thinking of has done it a few times.
That's different.
So it's like, this is probably just who you are, really. But now you're allowing alcohol to kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. No, I was saying when I drink with like my female friends, I don't drink as much as I drink with my guy friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Pause. Does that sound crazy? But
how?
Because I know
That's crazy.
but I don't want it because I don't want. No, because like
you don't want to put that discomfort.
Yeah, I don't want to go crazy. Like, because I know for my dudes, we just chilling. Like, but like if I'm drinking with females, when I drink, I want to fuck. At the end of the day, like
you gotta know yourself.
I'm looking at women.
Yeah.
So if I'm around just women, then I know fuck. Well, shit, I want to fuck like something. Like if I'm not, and I don't have anyone I could just call real quick to go home. Like shit, someone
needs to get fucked.
Someone I want to do something. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm going home. All
right, but now does something click in you that other than you not drinking as much because you're with your girlfriends? What else clicks in you that is like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this, even if you were super drunk. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't drink as much.
I don't know. Like,
where's
the line?
I know the limit. Like, I know
but
when.
But you're under the influence, not anything.
Yeah, like when you drink and get past a certain point.
The most important thing that he said is that he knows himself when he's drunk. So you know what? He's not going to put himself in that situation.
But does that mean when you're sober, you like those women?
No,
and you're just
it means when I'm drinking, I want to have sex.
That's it.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Like, I've had sex with women who I would definitely not be attracted to when I was sober. I've had lower standards.
And that's knowing himself. And that's taking responsibility for who he is. Yeah.
I've had.
You never made a mistake while you were drunk? And I'm like, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But then, you know, people say, what is the line? Like, drunk minds, sober thoughts. What is it?
Yeah, that's why I was just
that's what you were like kind of getting at. Yeah, that's what you were kind of getting at. Yeah.
Have you, as men, or you, I guess, too, have you had a guy friend of yours do something to a woman and then the woman tells you, do you look at him differently? Do you stop talking to him? Do you check him? Because I'm also, all right, so if we go back to the whole situation too, it was like a panel. And so there were other men there and nobody said anything or did anything. Now, granted, a lot of people were like, well, you don't know the dynamic between YK Osiris and Sukiyana. She had said that she would turn him out, like jokingly in a previous situation. So like, you don't know if they used to fuck with each other or not, if they're fucking with each other now. No one knew. So everybody was kind of like minding their business, so to say. But I don't know. Like no one felt the need to speak up.
I think from our camera view, we saw that it was kind of uncomfortable, but maybe not from theirs. They're just seeing it. You know, we have like a different view where we could see her kind of body language was really like, like, what the fuck are you doing? And you could even see at the beginning, she kind of like didn't want to violate him, so she was like kind of trying to be cool with it.
Still
but
trying
then,
to protect.
Like
still trying to
keep
protect.
it chill, but then it kind of like, then you heard her then to like stop.
Yeah, and he doubled down. Like one kiss wasn't enough. He went and continued to do it.
Right.
So, you know, being in the nightlife, have you experienced anything like this?
I've seen it before, yeah.
What is your response? Is it with guys that you're cool with, that you know personally?
If it's ever with guys that I'm cool with, I always tell them. Maybe not in the moment. Maybe tell them like, yo, chill. After, like, yo, bro, you're wilding.
Yeah.
You have to. You have a responsibility to do that. You know, if you have female friends, I just think of it like, I have little cousins. I wouldn't want that to happen to one of my cousins or like people that I'm close to, my close friends. I wouldn't want that to happen. So you have a responsibility as a man to be like, yo, bro, like you gotta watch what you do constantly. And you see it all the time. You gotta make sure women are always comfortable, no matter what. But that comes from a standpoint with me. where I just grew up around women my whole life.
Yeah.
It's awkward for me to see women uncomfortable.
See, but then that begs the question. It's like you're joking with this guy previously.
Mm-hmm.
You're hinting. You're planting little seeds. You know, and even though you think that shit is just cordial, it's just regular, you know, it could have been her that planted the little seed, didn't think it would blossom to anything.
Right.
But you hinted that at some point. You know what I'm saying?
I know you don't want to get into it, but you have to move with intent too. When you're like
No, you can get
talking
into it.
and dealing with people, you have to move with intent. So you could joke about it. And, you know, my sister put me on to her because I didn't really know who she was. Super sexual, OnlyFans, like you said, all this stuff. And then if she in fact told him, like, I'll turn you out as a joking manner, you might think, yo, if I don't know you on a personal level, this might be actually who you are. You might be like that. And so, like, I'm in a joke. I might do it as a joke, not knowing that it's not warranted. But it has to be, I know it's fucked up to say and it's weird, but that has to be an idea too. You know what I mean?
No, yeah,
like
of
if you
course.
portray something and someone acts like that towards you and you're not with it and it becomes an awkward situation kind of like this was, I get it, it's weird, but you can't necessarily kill him for it in the sense because this is what you're showing everyone. If I don't know you on a personal basis, all I know is you're on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Wallen, your music.
Right.
Your music is wild.
Right.
And then you say some wild shit to me and I'm into it and I decide to do it. It's like
honestly, to make it even more basic, if a shorty like hollers at you, right? Like, oh, hey, what's up, boo? And y'all in the club, you exchange Instagrams and you go on her Instagram and it's just a whole bunch of ass.
and she's promoting her OnlyFans and all different types of shit.
What you gonna think? You're gonna be like, oh, I got a chance, nigga. I'm gonna take my chance. So I feel like it's a big gray area.
Super
it's a
gray
big
area.
gray area, but the adults need to be adults and have a conversation.
And also read the room.
the guy, read the room. And the guy
Consent.
consent.
Always consent. It don't even matter because yes, I hear what y'all saying. The intent, of course, move with intention, of course. But you should still, like, always just ask, yo, you good with this? That's it. Simple. And if she says no, that's it. Leave it alone. And the only reason why I say that, too, is because he was on a podcast saying how he was raised by his mom. He knows how to respect women. He always wants to make sure women are comfortable. Like, he was really speaking like that.
Was he, like, under the influence at all?
Did you see that video and be like, oh, he's super disrespectful? Watching the video?
I saw it like, yo, is he drinking something?
creepy.
Is he on something?
It
That's
was just
what
creepy.
I thought.
Yeah, but you said that she is out here moving like OnlyFans type chick, and like he ain't looking at her as a woman.
But also, like, her reaction was weird too. But given, like, she wasn't trying to, like,
It was giggly.
put him. It was giggly.
Does she carry herself with respect?
Comfort. Right. That's the question. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know her. Because honestly, I didn't know what the fuck situation I was talking about when you said her name.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the video because I remember seeing YK Osiris video or some shit.
Yeah.
I had no idea who the chick is at all. So I just saw him like he was joking around trying to kiss someone, and then I saw her reaction like afterwards and it looked kind of crazy. But you're saying that she has OnlyFans? I never knew none of this shit about her. I have no idea who she is at all.
She's like a Love and Hip Hop.
Okay,
person.
so then does she carry herself with respect that she should demand this type of respect from someone?
I don't think she was even demanding that type of respect. Honestly, she wasn't demanding anything.
But some people just give off where they can be honestly as fucked up as it sounds, disrespected.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you carry yourself a certain way, it's like, why would I respect you as a person?
Okay,
Right.
but would you do that?
I mean, I've shitted on hoes before. If I look, that's what I said. You saying
No, have you sexually made a sexual advance towards a girl that you deem a hoe?
yes.
Okay.
That's what
Without
I'm
her
saying.
consent.
I mean, I made like advanced, like, yo, I done definitely grab someone and pulled them closer or just shit like that to me. Because they came off that way. As fucked up as it sounds when I was younger, I was whatever, I was young. And that's the way they were portraying themselves like that. Unfortunately, as older, I'm almost 40, no, I'm not gonna do that now because that's just different. But when I was young and more wild, they wasn't portraying themselves like they deserve that respect.
The punchline is it goes both ways.
Can we be realistic though? Like really realistic?
Yes.
Have you ever been in a situation where some shit happened just in the moment and you might not give consent, but it's like, oh, he kissed me and I wasn't expecting it, but it wasn't like, oh, hey Nat, can I kiss you before I do it? He just does it. Have you ever been in a situation
Of course,
like that?
yes.
So what do you mean by consent? he didn't have consent to kiss you, but he just moved off a vibe that he thought you had. He
I see what
moved
you're
on
saying.
it, and then you were surprised by it, but obviously you might not have had the reaction she had. But also with that, we've had the chance to watch that video a million times. That shit happened in the moment for him and everybody else. It's hard to judge somebody. You know, hindsight's only 20/20. You can only see shit after and be like, oh, maybe you couldn't have done this.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it. I definitely think setting took effect here. Like, obviously they're in a public setting, they're on like this whatever panel, they have other people around, so like the shock of it all, yeah, I mean, I don't know how I would have reacted. I even started to question, if I was a woman sitting there watching that, would I have even said anything or made sure she was good? Because by the way she was like kind of giggling, yeah, she looked uncomfortable, but she also wasn't like, get the fuck off me, what are you doing,
like,
stop.
Bro,
it was
wrong.
still kind of like, not that she
Yeah.
was with it, but she didn't look completely repulsed by it either. So I don't know.
And
She
then
just
definitely
a
looked
cute,
shocked.
yeah,
No.
she was shocked. But I remember, like you said, she probably, possibly wasn't trying to like react so harshly in
On
front
camera?
of
Of course.
everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like a huge gray area. It's a huge gray area.
Very.
But I hope they had
He
a
did
conversation
apologize
after.
within 24 hours. And she forgave him. She was decided to forgive him.
And that's the most
publicly,
important
privately.
part. That's the most
Yeah.
important part. A conversation was had.
Yeah.
He realized what he did wrong. She voiced that she was uncomfortable. That's the most important thing.
And we move forward.
There we go.
All right.
Bam, bam.
All right, last topic. Are we good?
We're great.
Okay.
We're
Why are
good.
you so hyped?
Huh?
I said, why are you so hyped for this?
No, I don't know.
No,
You just
it's
did a
good
little dance.
No,
This is her spark. This is her spark.
This
She
means that
finds
we're having a
joy.
good conversation,
Yeah,
and I'm very
yeah.
excited.
That's her happy smirk.
Tony knows me.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm reading my Buddhism book.
Yes.
And so one of the chapters was about who am I, right? Now, when I'm reading this, I start answering it in the way that the author of the book is like, you should not be answering it this way. So real quickly, I just want to ask, when people ask you who you are, how do you answer in general?
Damn.
Like, I just say, I identify with my job. I'm a speech therapist. I'm a podcaster.
Right.
You
I
know.
agree. Like, and that has to change. I realize because I'm reading my book and it says that that's the wrong way to answer. But I do identify with my relationships. I identify with my role with my kids. I identify as a mother. I identify as a partner. I identify as what I get done as a nurse, as with my occupation. I don't identify, unfortunately, with things I love, my emotions, how I react to things, what I find like joyous in my life, just individually, like, you know, yeah.
How do you identify yourself?
If someone were to ask me, like, who am I would just tell them how I am as a person.
So
What
what
makes
would you
me
say?
as a person. Honestly, whenever I like just try to describe myself to people, I usually use like the disclaimer just because I feel like I'm weird. I'm gonna be real
I
with
say
you.
that too. I'd be like, I'm a
gonna
little
be like,
weird.
I'm weird. I don't have typical reactions to things sometimes, and you guys have seen me out. You guys might see me a whole night with a straight fucking
I'm like,
face.
is Jar even having a good time?
Sounds good.
That's why I'm
Are
like,
you good?
I'm like,
good?
so I try to like use a disclaimer like, this is a tough question. I just try to be as honest with people as possible about who I am, how I react to things, and just who I am. Like, I'm not a super emotional person, so if you're looking for emotional reaction out of me, you really won't get it. Most times not.
Which I feel like is, and you could correct us, I feel like that is one of the correct ways
Oh, yeah.
to
It
describe
is.
yourself.
It is.
With your emotions, with how you react to things, like your own personality. Yeah.
I try to, because I just want to give people an honest insight about who I am. Because I'm also not forward with like talking about the type of person I am. It's kind of like more like, you got to be around me. You get it a little
to
bit.
get the feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the author was saying how we need to start, it would be more helpful for us to understand ourselves if we try to realize that we are connected to everyone and everything around us. So I am you, you are me. So whatever I do affects you, and then how you respond is going to affect me. And that's basically with everything. Now, how do I say this? I feel like when we try to think of other people, we instantly ask those identification questions to automatically like separate ourselves from them. Like, all right, where are you from? are you from where I'm from? Because then I can make a judgment based on who I think you are.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school? Oh, you went to public school? Well, I went to Catholic school. So maybe I'm going to be honest. I'll say that I think my education is better than yours because I went to Catholic school and you went to public school. Or how many siblings do you have? Oh, you're an only child, so you must be selfish. You must not think about anybody but yourself.
Preconceived notions about people.
Right. So for me, hearing this, like reading this, it was like, oh, like now I'm asking you questions about you to see how I can show up for you. And like get it, and how I treat you is going to be like how I can learn about who I am as a person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have you ever thought about it this way? Like, do you ever think about, oh, the way I treat you is going to affect me and it's going to say more about me than whatever? That making sense?
So, no, it's making sense because I feel like I don't want to say I'm a different person with everybody. I don't want to say that. I'm not. But I do show up differently, especially for people I care about. Because I know that individually, they need a different type of side of me. You understand what I'm saying? Like maybe somebody's not so emotional, right? So maybe I need to be the one to start that conversation because I know that person is not going to start that conversation. Or maybe the person is emotional. So they don't need me to be emotional with them. They don't need that. They already have enough emotion. They need me to be the solid, like, listen, like conceptual person.
Yeah.
Like this is what's happening. It's not how you feel. Like let's look at the situation. Like if you need me to be more like hard with you, I'll be more hard with you. So I do feel like that. Like I show up a little bit differently for those that I really have a good relationship with them within my life. I show up a little bit differently for everybody.
So with understanding this concept, did the author want you to?
Yeah. What is the right way?
That's what I'm looking for. Does he want you to change how you deal with people by understanding who they are?
Yeah, he says that if we can understand other people, then we can develop more compassion for people. And I guess the things that they do or the things that they go through.
But am I changing myself to?
You're changing yourself to now, like we say, move with intention. You know what I mean? To not be a fucking asshole and be in your own fucking bubble of like, well, this is who I am, so fuck you. But now in changing who you are, I feel like it's really taxing to do that.
That's why I
I
don't.
have to really like be a chameleon for all these people around me because you're this way and you're that way. It's like,
Yeah,
And I
that's
feel
why
like that's
I
not
tell you.
genuine when you're dealing with
Yeah,
people. How can you
yeah.
be genuine with people? Like if you are the way you are, that's it.
You can't always compromise yourself for everyone.
That's the word I was
that's
looking
why
for, compromise, yeah.
That's why I specifically said with people that I have a strong like relationship with, people that I care about. You know what I'm saying? That I'm willing to go a little extra mile
But with you knowing them and you know them well and you love them, whatever it is, they should love you for who you are. No? Am I wrong?
Yeah. Okay, we could talk about our relationship now. I think it's a good example.
yes,
I think
go.
it's a good example.
Please.
Sometimes I need a little coddle. Sometimes I don't need a coddle. Sometimes I just need.
I would say most times you don't need a cuddle.
I don't need, but I'm saying sometimes I
need the
do.
cuddle.
Right? But I'm saying sometimes I do
sometimes
need
you do,
it.
yes,
Of course I'm not.
yes.
I don't always need it, and
Right.
that's why this works.
Right.
But sometimes I do need it. Most of the time, I need somebody to be a real bitch with me and be like, "Bitch, you stupid."
And I can definitely do
There
that.
you go. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? But that's not necessarily in her nature to be a bitch. It's not. She wants to be nice. But if she needs to be truthful with me, she'll bring it out of her. She'll take a step back, take a breather, and put me in my place.
I think I know what you're saying. And I think the compassion part and the grace thing, because we talk about it a lot in therapy with my therapist, but it's like, you know who you are, right? And you're figuring out who you are. And you also know that certain people are who they are, right? You can have grace and compassion for people without having proximity to them. So like, I can understand that you are who you are. And if it don't really like, if we're not gelling, it's not meshing, I can evaluate the kind of position I want you to have in my life. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did that answer?
No.
No? So what's your question? What's your question?
I feel like, for example, I feel like me and Ant are more alike. So would you go to Ant for an emotional response to a
No.
situation? No, right?
I would not.
You would not. So that's my thing.
more sensible.
You know who he is. You know if you go to him and expect an emotional response, he's not going to give that to you. He's going to give you, like you said, conceptual idea. He's going to give you strong, honest feedback. Logical
facts,
feedback. Yes. But you're not going to go to him and expect an emotional response. Like my sister, when she comes to me, asks me questions, she does not expect an emotional response from me. She comes to me when she knows, hey, I need the honest truth about my situation, whatever I'm going through.
Okay, so now what do you go to your sister for?
Me?
I guess you went to her for the Sukiyana thing.
No, you know what I do? For my sis, because she's an emotional person, I will go to her for insight on maybe somebody's emotional response, something that I can't conceptually understand how people react. I'll go to her she's super emotional, cries a lot. I might go to her and be like, hey, she said this. Like, I don't make me understand.
Right. So now with that relationship in your life, right? You get the feedback from her. Now it's going to affect how you show up in that situation that you needed advice on.
Not necessarily. It just gives me more insight about it. I will still be who I am, whether you guys say that's hard-headed or not, or...
But you want to understand where that person's coming
I'm
from.
an honest person. I will always be me. I feel like me compromising myself for anybody is not being true to myself, so I won't do it.
But I think you're still proving it. Like something,
I agree.
In a good way though. Like something happened. Let's say you and your girl, right? You don't really understand your girl's emotional response. This shows like your character basically. Like, okay, I don't understand, but I want to understand. So now you're taking the extra step to talk to your sister, get insight. It may not affect that moment, but I think with that insight, you seem like a pretty like self-aware person to me. That you might move even a little bit differently the next time.
Yeah.
Okay. I can
you feel me?
Look, we could go back to Ant. We don't have to talk about what we spoke about, Ant, but me and him had a serious conversation before everybody came, right?
Okay. Oh, y'all having conversations without me?
We had a
this is who I am. I want to be a part of it.
So we had a serious conversation. But correct me if I'm wrong. Were you a dick? Did you say? Did you level with me and say and understand where I was feeling and understand where I was at? You did. You didn't just say, yo, fuck that shit.
Right.
He didn't, which would be in his nature to say. Not say fuck that shit, but it would be in your nature to be like, yo, Tony, get over that.
And my nature is to understand.
And then what?
And understand how the person is feeling. If she needed me to be like, nah, F that or some shit, then cool. But I didn't think she needed that at that particular time.
Exactly, that's
she
my
needed
point.
me to just listen and understand what she was going through.
So you showed up the way you knew she needed you
There
to show
you
up
go.
for. We are interconnected, people. Come on.
That's my point.
You failed me. Jesus Christ.
No, but it wasn't. But this is my thing. No, but
Win
this is my
again.
thing. But he didn't compromise who he was for
But
that.
again,
He
what
didn't
Jar was
compromise.
saying is also be more logical and stuff. I was still trying. I was thinking about like what she. It wasn't just like you told me to think, and it's just straight emotions.
Yeah.
Like I didn't just like go crazy. Like nah, fuck this dude or fuck this person, whatever. I still thought about was being illogical with my responses to her. I wasn't just basing it purely on emotion. So it's more what Jar was saying.
Yeah.
I thought about it was being more logical. It wasn't just blind emotions in a situation. So I want to understand why she was feeling this way.
The point is that there is a common ground that we can get on. That you're not compromising who you are, and I'm not compromising who I am.
And it's okay.
Somewhere. We could
Are
meet
y'all
somewhere.
against being connected with people?
Yeah.
No,
that's what I'm getting.
Like, all you say about being logical about the shit.
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna be logical.
You're gonna be logical.
You're still gonna be you.
In a way that I can understand and respect and not feel targeted and not feel like, oh damn,
I'm a fucking idiot. Why did I even open up to this guy?
Yeah.
Like,
so that's what I'm saying. Like at some extent, the people you care about, you meet them somewhere, somehow, so that you can like really get a sense and really like connect and really give your
there was another situation when Natalie was talking to me about something, and Natalie was more like, I knew Natalie needed to vent. Right. So I wasn't even about to be logical with the situation. I thought I processed everything and everything.
That's my point.
I was just like,
curious
nah,
to know what it was.
Do your thing.
Right.
And sometimes
but
I will tell
express how
Anthony,
you
like,
feel.
I not only do I need to vent, but I also need you to be like, yo, fuck that bitch too. Like, I need that sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
And you're able to do
At what
that.
point do we accept people for who they are?
Right.
At what point do we accept people for who they are? And this whole like, I get it, maybe compromising yourself for people you love, but accepting them for who they are.
Yes, but also duality is a thing. So yes, you could be a dick, but it's also possible for you to have compassion and be like a nice dick.
Maybe I'm not there.
I think you're a nice dick. Like, I don't think you're like a complete asshole. A complete
sure
asshole
guys-
would not have been so thoughtful to get me the hookah tips and to bring the vodka bottle.
Those gifts were completely... They were based off shade.
We so appreciated them though.
No, but we love them. I know you guys love them, but
truly love the gifts.
I clearly bought them to throw shade.
Okay, but we didn't feel the shade at all. We felt the
I have failed.
Seen.
Yes.
I have failed.
We felt seen.
Well, you failed then, honey.
Respected.
You failed, honey.
Anyway, how are we feeling, guys?
We're feeling great. I think this
so
was amazing.
good. We had such a good time with you. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all.
You need to come back in the fall after our hiatus.
Yes.
So yeah, pop-up shop July 23rd, 1 to 7, and then what else? Any other last minute words? Because we off this.
Saturdays.
Big
Yeah,
Move
Big Move.
Saturdays, first and third Sundays of every month. They're
I
at
could plug
Panda
my
in
events, but
Harlem.
I really wanted
I
to
need to
say.
check out the brunch.
I
Honestly.
really want, you guys to come to Panda Brunch.
Yeah, we gotta
But-
check that
Bitch,
out.
we need coins to go
But
to that
My
brunch.
birthday is on Panda Brunch. So I'm going for my birthday.
Oh, when is your birthday?
Okay.
August 6th.
Hey, okay.
First Sunday.
I was talking to my aunt. You know, she just lost her husband. It's about giving people flowers, you know, while they're in the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And I had a conversation with Rodney about it. For you guys to step into the zone of like actually throwing an event and it being lit. Like the first one was lit. And then the second one was dope too. Just you stepping into that realm.
Yeah.
I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
And I wanted to give you guys your flowers
Oh my
for
God,
that.
Jar,
It was dope.
Thank you.
For someone who's not emotional,
Right.
That was
Fuck
not a-
outta
you
here.
giving all
That was
the
not
emotion.
that was an emotional response.
We received it as different.
I'm giving you
No.
guys. I'm giving you guys your flowers because there's a lot of people who have ambition to do things, but they can't necessarily pull it off.
Yeah.
And then you guys kind of did it in silence,
We
Did it?
didn't, yeah.
and it was.
But I do
great.
have to say we didn't do it alone because Rodney helped us a lot.
Yeah,
Shout out to
no.
Rodney.
We got
But
the
also,
squad. We got the
like,
squad.
if we're gonna give flowers, we could really give
We
flowers.
can give everybody their flowers.
Because
Everyone.
through partying with you guys and like seeing the way you and Rodney specifically, how you guys run events, the professionalism, the organization,
Yes.
the communication,
Yes.
everything. I mean, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That's your own business.
A
If
lot
it's
of bullshit,
drama.
bro. A lot of bullshit.
But you could never tell at your parties, honestly.
No, seriously.
And so even like me on the phone with Rodney asking him questions about this and him helping us, I've learned so much just from watching the both of you and how you guys coordinate things and do your events. So it's flowers all around.
Leading by
I
example,
appreciate
honey.
that, but that's not what that was for.
No, but it has to be said. Like we are all connected.
There we go.
Yo,
Yeah, don't fight the connection,
you know
y'all.
what?
Don't fight it.
Well, Omanaya was here. We were talking about getting inspiration from people around you instead of trying to find inspiration from fucking celebrities.
Yes.
And shit.
Yeah.
And that's what that is. Just finding inspiration from
The
people
people
around you
right
that's
in
doing
front
it.
of you who are doing it and who are doing it well. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
It's on
yeah.
now. It's on now. It's on.
All right, we off this. Thank you guys.
It was so good.